Composition 1 students. I wanted to make a quick video explaining the rubric for Essay 4. First off, some of you have already turned in your essay, as you can see here from the 5 submissions I've already received. If after watching this video you realize you have some edits you want to make, please feel free to do that and then re-upload the file. Canvas is set up to let you upload as many files as you want to every essay submission page, and I'll just see and grade the last one that was uploaded. Okay, so here I've zoomed in on my screen some so that we can see the text a little bit better. So thesis is worth 20 points, right? So you want to make sure that your thesis is identifiable and well worded. If you have a definition paper, you've made a claim about the definition of the word or the word's meaning. And if you're comparing and contrasting, you've made a unique and meaningful claim, right? It's well worded and clear, and the claim is the student's own words. It's not a quote from a dictionary, and is not overly simple. There are similarities and differences. So if it's compare and contrast, we're moving past. There are similarities and differences. If it's a definition, it's in your own words. It's well worded, meaning I'm not seeing you or we. I'm seeing strong verbs. I'm not seeing vague words. So yeah, down here on the low end of the thesis, we have an announcement, right? In this essay, I will discuss. That is going to cost you 10 points right off the top, as will, so just announcing it in general will cost you 10 points. So just saying this paper will discuss the topic of freedom. Okay, moving on to illustration. Illustration is also worth 20 points. So that is that you're giving lots of examples and explanation. Your paper does not read like a list, right? For each paragraph, you're going in depth. And for example, if your paragraph is about the similarities and differences between teenagers and babies, right? You're not just listing off a number of differences in one paragraph. Rather, you're talking about probably just one key difference, and you're giving us examples of those differences. So you're moving beyond your own experience in those. Remember, you can use I in one body paragraph, but other than that one personal experience, you don't want to rely on the first person, and that is noted here at the bottom of this as well. We're only using first person. If you're down here on the where you're losing 10 points, more than one of your body paragraph uses a first person example, or you're using completely hypothetical situations rather than concrete examples. So we're looking for those specific examples. We don't want that paper to read like a list. Sentence fluency is worth 10 points this go around, as is proofreading. You should know by now what this consists of, but an MLA header and page numbers, you've proofread and you have a variety of sentences. Moving right along, organization. This is going to be different than what we have seen on past papers, and that it's worth more points. So you're using strong transitional phrases between paragraphs as well as details within paragraphs. We're moving past first and next. Also simple transitions, like just using also every paragraph to really show the relationship between those paragraphs. Intro and conclusion. Now this, again, you're being asked to step it up a little bit. We're moving past that. 5 sentences is a good paragraph to 5 sentences is a bare minimum. So here on the 17 points, you're looking at 5 sentences long. Here under the 20 points, it's more than 5 sentences long. If you have it, if it's less than 5 sentences, or if it's really cliched or short in general, you're looking at -6 points on the intro and conclusion. So making sure that it's attention grabbing and unique, and that the conclusion explores the significance of the topic. So this matters because, right? All right, 20 points on source integration and discussion. For the 20 points on this, you want to use signal phrases, meaning that you are introducing those sources. Here, sorry, I don't know how those points ended up so weird. You are using signal phrases, but you're using verbs like talks and says, or you're using the same signal verbs over and over and over again. Down here, you need to work on using more signal phrases. And here, you're using the sources, but you're not introducing them and commenting on them. So after you drop in a detail from a source, right, then saying why that detail is important. Okay, moving right along. Source quality and works cited. So the student uses quality sources and you have a good works cited page. And everything on the works cited page is cited in the paper. If we're coming down here to 14, you've used quality sources, but there's some issues with your works cited and in-text citations. Down here on the 10 out of 25, you're either lacking quality sources. You might have used a dictionary definition as one of your two sources, or used Wikipedia, or another basic web page, right? A web page that doesn't have an author or doesn't cite their sources. Wikipedia obviously cites their sources, but they don't have an author. So it needs to meet both of those requirements, right? They cite their sources and they have an author. Now, if it's like a newspaper, newspapers cite their sources. They just do so internally. They don't have like a works cited page. If you have last minute questions over your sources, and if you want to know if your sources are the quality that I'm looking for, please feel free to message me. I can still look at those for you. Wording. This is where we're getting into that first, second person. So you're not using any form of you, we, or us in this paper for 15 points. If you're under 12, you've used it maybe a couple of times. 10, if you're losing 5 points, you've used it fewer than 4 times. Sorry for that typo there. Outside of the one personal example, -7 points, you've used it more than 4 times, or you have problems with wording, probably verb use or something like that. So that takes you through that entire rubric. I think you can see that we've been building these skills over the last few weeks, right? Through instructor notes and looking at quizzes and the like. Up toward the top, obviously you're seeing things we've worked on earlier in the semester, such as the thesis statement, sentence fluency and proofreading and organization, and the intro and conclusion, and then we're moving on past that. If you have questions about your introduction and conclusion in your self-evaluation, make sure you look back at those comments. I did give some pretty thorough comments on ideas for intro and conclusion and how to do those well. And yeah, if you have specific questions, please feel free to message me. I'll still be answering questions this weekend. And again, if you're wanting to use your late paper on Essay 4, just let me know before the due date on Monday. So you can still message me on Monday. Just do it before 11:59. So you can message me at 11:57 and tell me you're using that late paper coupon. But do not message me at 12:05, okay? All right, I think that's everything, guys. I'm sorting through the peer review stuff. If you don't have comments on your peer review, let me know so I can look into it for you. Please do that by early tomorrow before noon. That way I have time to put some comments on it for you. If you let me know afternoon, I cannot guarantee I'll have time to put any comments on there to help you out. All right, have a lovely weekend and let me know if you have questions. Thanks, guys.